Hello, everybody, and welcome to Music Career Radio. I'm your host, Nanina Mvazana, and my guest this week is Juliana Volož from Germany, founder of JV Promotion, Booking and Management Agency. Together, we will explore ways for independent musicians to gear up for international bookings and give tips on how to prepare yourself for working with representation. As you know, all work on this podcast is done voluntarily, and we also collect donations for scholarships to support independent musicians. So if you would like to give the gift of education to young aspiring artists, please visit ydiymusic.com/donate and make your contribution. And you can also send a direct PayPal transfer to paypal.me/Noam Vazana. Hello, Juliana. How are you?
Hi, Noam. I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm good.
Thank
Welcome.
you for inviting.
Thank you for coming and sharing your knowledge and your energy. I love your energy, I must say.
Thank you. The energy is coming.
But I think it's both. You have the combination of being really calm, but also full of enthusiasm. That when you do something, it feels to me like you go all in, like you're really dedicated into your work. And I think it's very important, especially for artists and music professionals, because the cultural sector is what I define as an ideological job. How does this attitude suit your profession?
Attitude of being passionate about my whatever I do. It suits whatever I do.
Yeah, but
It
you're also
suits
very
the.
calm and centered. And that's something that
Well,
we lack.
I maybe it looks like. Uh, yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying to be calm. No, I'm okay. Let's say I'm calm. I like it. But
Centered and
definitely
collected.
in the critical situations, I am very calm in the critical situation and solving them step by step, only small bits and pieces, and not getting like exploded and losing all ground. Yeah, but you seems to be a very uh, calm and structured and powerful.
Wow, that's
Not seems you
very
are.
thank
Yeah,
you. I try. I mean, I think I'm good with emergencies. Like when something happens that is out of control, then usually I take care of it. But then later I start feeling it when I'm alone, you
of
know?
course. Later you get your adrenaline back, and
Yeah.
then it's like,
Yeah. So on the road, it's very helpful because in
yeah,
touring, it's like always emergencies. But yeah, in the hotel room, you start feeling everything that happened during the day.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. You work a lot with crossover music. And I think that's, first of all, it's brave because in our industry, people tend to fit themselves into definitions, like inside the box. And when I
Mm-hmm.
started making music, because I also make crossover music, at the beginning, people told me that they were not able to work with me because they couldn't define me. They said, "Oh, do you do pop? Do you do jazz? Do you do world music?" So I don't have the contacts to book you anywhere because I don't know in which market you fit. And
Mm-hmm.
now, in the last 5 or 6 years, I see that there is a development in the music industry, and festivals are becoming more open to book crossover programs. So, how does this change affect your work as a booking agent?
I'm very selfish, I would say, and I do only what I really like. And I can book only bands that give me goosebumps. And then, if I get these goosebumps, I get right words, I get motivation, and I get this power to make it through the barriers, boxes, or whatever. Because then I find right words. It doesn't. It has never affect me really. That I never got this kind of comment that this doesn't suit because this is this or that.
Hmm,
So if it is a jazz festival, I don't offer traditional Georgian polyphony, for example.
sure.
This is another thing, yeah. Just to do little research before. And then the other ones, you can find the right definition for each kind of festival. If you know that they are more world, then you stress this world part of this project. So just a little work, little research.
Yeah, I think it's a very important point because a lot of musicians that come to me for mentoring sessions uh, seem to lack the understanding that they have to see the programmer's point of view. They think, I need to get booked because my music is special and it makes people happy, but they don't go the extra mile. First of all, not doing their research, and second of all, not trying to show to the programmer that they can become a part of their program. So how do
Yeah,
I fit in your program instead of how do you book me because I'm cool?
yeah. This is psychology, and diplomacy, and all together. So you learn by making your mistakes. So when I studied with my first band, it was very painful for me because every time they said no, I was ruined. Why no? Because I know that this is amazing band. It should be there, and I know it should be there.
Yeah.
But then I learned, if you cannot change it, you look just for something else, and you don't give up. You don't share your inner energy just for these um, small pieces, because it seems very important at this moment when you get rejected.
Yeah.
But then you think maybe it's because it shouldn't be this place festival, or maybe they should come back to me later themselves if they hear that the band was playing here and there, and so it's a kind of, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And also at the beginning, it's difficult to hear no so many times. It's a combination, I guess, of not doing your research because if I look at my work when I started out independently, I didn't have representations, so I wrote emails myself, and I would have only 3% reply rate because I was unknown. I
Hmm.
didn't know what I was doing. Also, that's the first time I booked something, and I didn't have good video materials or a good EPK, so I was just trying things out, and so people didn't even reply sometimes, and when they did reply they said no or maybe. It was very difficult to get a yes.
Maybe
But
means no in the most cases.
yes, exactly.
Another no is I will come back to you when if it suits.
If it suits, yes.
Yes.
If when the artistic director changes.
Well, maybe yes, yeah.
Yeah.
But it is very important to save your shining inside, not losing it because of rejections.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that the band is bad. It means the place is wrong, or time is wrong, or something. You have to believe in this. Really believe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
I
It's
want
just
to ask you.
yeah.
It is not always you didn't have representation. When I met you at Vomex 19,
Yeah.
19, I think you had a representative. You had a manager. So
I
it
I have
means it means something happened that you said no more, no way. I do it now myself.
no, I worked with a few. I tried to work with a few managers, but I think I had the wrong fit because every time it was not exactly the right market. So at the beginning, I worked because at the beginning of my career, I had a hip hop band, and I worked with a hip hop manager, and I didn't really want to make hip hop. My heart and my desire is in jazz and in world music. So the influences of the music was always from this direction. And then he was trying to sell us in the hip hop world, and it didn't work. And then the second guy I worked with actually cheated me on money, and I decided to stop working with him. And then the third time I got offered a management deal, I was already quite suspicious. You know what I mean? So I offered him to work not on an exclusive basis. So and then we worked together. He's only representing me now in the US and in Canada, and I work also with five other agents in different territories. So I do my own management,
Hmm.
and but I work with agents, so I do have
Okay.
representations in different areas, and I think that's a great way to work, because especially if you're beginning, because you have to learn a lot of things about the music industry. And if you let somebody else do it for you at the beginning, and then something happens and you lose that partnership, you won't have the knowledge to recap and recreate yourself
Sure, I
uh,
agree with that.
again. Yeah. So I'm happy that I chose to do that. But
But I think it doesn't suit to anyone. It's not the universal recipe
yes,
because there are people like you who are very logically constructed, very structured and powerful, and you have energy and time to do both your
yeah,
music and this totally different work, which you may call not creative, but it is creative in the different way. But it's totally different part of the brain which works when you are doing your own management and when you're creating your music. So there are good positive examples of do it yourself lot, but
yeah.
it doesn't suit anyone, everyone.
Yeah, I agree. It depends on your personality and also your ability to learn new things.
Yeah, and also on your priorities or your abilities or many things.
Yeah. And to be open, I think,
It
to
doesn't
see
suit
people.
any every musician to go to Vomex and talk 8 hours per day,
Yeah.
missing happiness, friendship, and this. Many of them just want to go and make the music.
Yeah. Some of these skills, I think, are social skills. Like, I think a lot of musicians, especially at the beginning, don't have, people call it networking. I don't like the word networking, because networking seems to me like you connect the dots to benefit yourself as a professional.
Mm.
And when I go to a trade fair, I don't try to find people to work with. I try to find friends. I just try to be myself. And like, for instance, if I go to a party, I don't like parties. I would probably talk to three people during the whole evening, and we will have a long one-on-one conversation. And when I go to Womex, I try to find these people, the people that I will have a conversation with, and then we become friends. And then maybe work happens also later, but I
Yeah,
will
this
not
is
try
yeah.
to jump on someone or sell them. You know what I mean?
This is the keyword. You don't go to these places to sell. You go, but it is here. But first of all, you go to make friends and know
Yeah,
people and present yourself, and then comes your band or yourself. It's
yeah,
very simple.
and listen also to others. That's
Sure,
another
this
thing.
is the keyword.
Yeah.
I am very curious. In your biography, it says that your grandmother was singing Ladino song while peeling
Be-
beans. And
yeah.
in the kitchen, when I see kitchen, it's just clicks to my head. And what was she cooking, and what were the food you ate at your grandmother's kitchen?
It's called schena. It's a Moroccan word for, it's this big pot, and you cook it for 24 hours, and you put a lot of vegetables and meat inside. And well, my grandmother is Jewish, so she
Mhm.
didn't cook it on the fire. She had this special plate electric plate that you would turn on before Shabbat started, and it would just
Mhm.
continue to cook it for 24 hours, and you would just check, sometime. So we were sitting together and peeling beans, and the beans would go after into that big pot together with other things.
Means green beans or what? What kind
Yes,
of?
broad beans. Broad beans.
I will write
They're
it down.
bigger.
I'll check the schema. How is it? How is it written?
I'm not sure what it is in Latin letters, but I can check. I only know the
Okay.
Hebrew letters, but maybe Schena. I'm not sure. I will ask.
Schema. Okay. I'm curious.
Yeah,
You know,
but you
this is
have this.
kind of very authentic thing and connection for me always. Grandmother's kitchen is very good um, description of something from your background, from something real.
Yeah, and you have that project, cooking and booking and cooking.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, booking and
Yeah.
cooking. Yeah.
And I really liked the one from Tread Attack. I remember I was playing it 3 times just to watch how to make that recipe.
Did you try it?
I didn't try to make it yet, no.
One
But
of
I
my
have
uh,
some food allergies, so maybe some of the things I cannot eat.
one of my colleague who usually never cooks. He goes to restaurants. He when he saw this recipe, he said it looks so easy that even I could try that, and it's very appealing. But I have to buy mixer or the whisk. So he did it. He bought it and he prepared it.
Fantastic. Did he make his own video?
No, he sent me some photos. He burned a little bit of the semolina, but he said at the end it was okay. He knows his mistakes, but the the fact that he went to buy a mixer to do this
Yeah,
dish, it was something special.
you affected him.
Yeah, I affect people. You know,
When I
see
saw
the
it,
energy is coming.
there you go.
Oi, one ear is lost.
When we were at Womex, I remember that I saw your project coming up in the general feed. There was the digital conference, and there was I don't know what's it called, like the general message board that everybody was posting. And you posted one of these videos, and I remember it coming up, and immediately after seeing it, I wrote you a message. How can I get a video like this?
Yes.
I really like it. You guys should check it out. Booking and cooking on the JV promotion website. Maybe you can put after the link in the description of the
Yeah,
video,
sure.
so people
We
can
can
check
do
it out.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, if you guys are watching and you have any questions for Juliana, please write them in the comments, and we will try to address them at the towards the end of the interview. So that's about 40 minutes from now. We'll have a Q&A.
Is
I
there
think,
anybody out there?
yeah. Shall we check? I'm gonna go on Facebook and to see about the comments. I didn't open that in advance. Actually, today, before we started the podcast, our neighbors started drilling. So that was like a very interesting tour management moment that you have to fix last minute. So we have, yeah, Rosa from Barcelona. Jezayam is here. Hey, Rosa.
Oh, hello, Rosa. Nice to see you.
She's a good friend. I love her. Rosa, you're awesome. She was on the podcast as well.
I saw.
Yeah. So yeah, if you have questions, please write them down. A lot of aspiring musicians think that in order to succeed in the music business, they need to have representation. I've done both, working independently and with agents and managers and labels, and I can't say that there is a better way. The main thing is the energy and the time that both sides intend to invest in the process, and then create something beautiful together and succeed. But there's a lot of things to prepare for an independent musician before starting to work with representation. What do you think, or what would you recommend independent musicians to do in order to become export ready?
Yeah, sure. I wanted to say the same words as you, that it is nice to do everything yourself, but I am very big fan of professional teamwork and really tight teamwork where everyone can do his or her work well. And then it saves time for both and for artists uh, to make music. But yeah,
Yeah.
it is very essential that the artist should prepare several things before he approaches manager. I actually started to write my thoughts in my Instagram account about that, and some thoughts for managers. And the next ones will be exactly about that: what to prepare before you talk to someone. Or
Yeah.
so this is. There are obvious things for us. I am like I have a Okay, I compare my work with working with little shelves. So I have 14 bands at the moment. So I have like 14 shelves. And in these shelves, I have all what I need. And when I start pitching or writing, approaching people, I just need to open this shelf, now I need this one, and then that one, and that one. And this I have to have to make my work seamless and quick and effective. And
Yes.
these things are good quality photos, good press release, small, informal, short, condensed, going to the point, hard, with the hooks from in the first row, and then going a small little hooks here and there, and good videos, different types, uh, um, technical writer, readable, very good, readable, structured, not that
Plot.
just
Search
a
plot.
list of something. And it's a very good test. I am not a technician, yeah, but I'm a logical person. So I have to understand what they mean. I always say, please write, make a table, instrument, microphones, what we have, what we need.
Yeah.
Then people will understand what is coming with the band, what they need on spot, and so on. And a big table with all musicians, with a good structured table. So actually about the press release, you need several of them. One is very short, like one phrase. One is longer, like one paragraph. And one is long. And all of them have to be going to the point. And depending on when you need it, you use it. So one of them. So videos, audios, links to streaming platforms. What else? What did I forget? Text, photos. Photos are very important, because this is the first thing the presenter sees before he starts reading, before he goes into your press release or your music, if he doesn't know you.
Yes.
So this is very essential thing. And how to do it different from all others, which are already trying to be different from all others.
Yes. So to
What?
stand out and tell a story.
Yes, exactly. What I recommend to go to some big agencies' websites and see the roster, or some big festival, online or showcase festival with many artists, and see photos what are representing each artist, and then check what photo you think is usual, which one you think is unusual, and why, and then try to make something.
Yeah.
different.
I usually recommend the same thing for musicians when they're doing their research. And then the research should also exceed to the places where you play. So if you're looking for the photos and you see something that is similar to what you want to do, maybe try and check this artist and see if they are playing in places that you would like to play.
Yes,
And I would
exactly.
always, yeah, and I would always say go for artists that are one step ahead of you. So not where you are now, but and not five steps ahead of you because you will not get booked in these places. So one step ahead and then try to aspire that this will be the next stage of your career.
Yeah, but
And
you have to know how to define what is one step above and what is two. So what are two steps above?
yeah, that's true. Well, I guess if you look at the audience quantity, then I would
Yeah,
say
sure.
that they could bring 50 people more when they are selling tickets than you are. That's the next stage, you know? If you're a beginning artist. If you already have a career, so then go from 400 capacity to 600 capacity. But yes,
Hmm.
first when you sell your own tickets. It's maybe that's also something interesting to discuss because a lot of artists ask me, like I did this uh, DIY workshop at WOMEX. And then we had 102 people coming in. Now, of course, these are from very various backgrounds. So, everybody's in a different level. And then there was at the Q&A section, one girl asked, how do I negotiate my fee for a festival? And I was like, yeah, I don't know. Depends who you are, who is the festival, what is the program. And she said, well, every time I try to book myself in a festival, they offer me a very small fee, and I know they have more. I was like, well, yeah, maybe they have more, but maybe it's not necessarily for you.
That's
Uh,
maybe it's not for you. Well, you just
uh,
have to talk to artists and check what if they want to share their experience and their fees. Sometimes you can get this information from the colleague artists, and
yeah,
it's always very useful to talk to artists, to other artists.
yes. So
For
networking with
example,
other artists.
my first, no, not my first, my Estonian band Trad Attack was a super successful, professional, and cool band. When I approached them, it was me. Usually, in most cases, bands approaching me, but in this case, I was approaching them.
Nice.
They took it very calm, and you know what they did? They checked. They checked information about me with all artists. They know the all artists are in my roster. So before saying yes, they did their research.
Fantastic.
And this was their first time, and I felt that this is super cool professional band, and it turned to be like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fantastic.
So they should do research. They should talk to other friend artists.
Yeah, I agree. You can get a lot of information from that. And a lot of musicians kind of try to keep that as a secret. Somehow there's a lot of competition
Yeah, I know
when
everywhere, but you
why?
can find someone. Why? Database is your know-how. It
Well,
is very painful topic sharing your
yes.
database, but the I
I'm
know
not talking
many
about sharing
people. Yeah,
I'm not talking about sharing contacts. I'm talking
yeah.
about general atmosphere of being afraid to talk to each other or, like really resenting someone else because of their success, and trying to keep everything to yourself. And this is, I think it's not the way to create a collaborative market.
No,
Because
I
when we
agree
are
with you. Yeah,
together, we are stronger.
yeah,
Um,
sure.
for instance, I'm a member of the Amsterdam Artist Collective. So it's a synergetic group of 5 bands, and we all share our information together. And then the people in our contact list know that if, like, we tell them in advance, would you like to be a part of the pool of the Amsterdam Artist Collective? These are the bands that participate. And then only the people who say yes they come on the newsletter, they become a part of the list. We will
Mhm.
never add someone without their permission,
Sure.
and this is very important. But with this sense of helping each other, you really create larger opportunities, I think,
I
within the
totally
market,
agree.
not only for yourself.
Yeah.
Not
Even the agents nowadays, we come together.
Yeah,
We come together to make more effort, to be more successful, to support each other.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
important. It's such a small community, the music market, especially world music market. It's like 4,000 people in the whole world.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah. It's funny to be like somehow music is such a lonely profession, but you're part of such a strong bonded community. So it has both sides. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did you adapt your work with the pandemic times? Did you do any bookings for your bands online?
Yes, I did some bookings online. There were some online conferences, online festivals.
Mhm.
But of course, it's less. It's
Yeah.
less. I'm working on some uh, showcase videos
Hmm.
because I'm planning to do together with my colleagues online showcase festivals. So every band actually I would add now to this list, which should a list of things which I want to have in my shelf on my shelf. Uh, Small 10-minute, 10-15 minute online showcase content.
I think that's a great addition.
Yeah,
I did.
because it's a.
Sorry.
I know that you do a lot of online concerts. You became even more active and with this podcast and everything.
Yeah, I do the podcast once a week, and every month, the first Sunday of the month, I give an online concert. There's one this Sunday. If you want to come, I can give you a
Mm,
free access.
yeah.
Um,
Actually, I would add what else I do. Working on the release of 2 CDs, having an amazing stories with painters about this project. So it is time to deal really with the CD releases, and I help the bands to do that, and also to work on their materials, to on their videos, on other things. I inspire them. Sometimes I inspire them. Sometimes I get inspired from them. But I'm in contact with them, not to get them lose belief and energy, and so because
yeah,
there are still many things you can do during pandemic.
yeah. This is actually my next question. How do you keep them motivated in these downtimes?
Uh, some of them are super motivated themselves, like Trad Attack. Guitar player started his online guitar school. Backpack Bagpipe player started became a life coach. She's super active and inspiring and charismatic person, and they also record new things. Other bands, you just need to give a little push. For example, it's two-one band, Homie Beat Young Band. They did the online festival, Sorry Festival. It was very intense, a lot of doing activity, and they got this adrenaline up, and then suddenly it finished and
Yes.
nothing else. There are no concerts. So I said, guys, look, you have this amazing throat singing techniques, you have all these amazing instruments, start to make videos telling people about these instruments, about this, so it will be educational. uh, Try to work on your stage presence, on your costumes, because it takes time when you tour. It's no time to think about that. Or now they are this was a little push which brought the big ball bowling. they started the first ever podcast in Tuvan language, inviting interesting musicians and famous people in Tuva. And then they decided, as the quarantine went a little bit, they all got sick and now they all recovered. Uh, they start a project of educating kids in distant villages all over Tuva. So it's like lectures, seminars, workshops. And the Ministry of Culture found it amazing. So they got grant for that. And before that, after Sorry, they were just sitting and what shall we do now? There are no concerts, there is nothing. And now they are so super busy. And you never know, if you start doing something, even small thing, it can open doors. It can bring you to several roads which you even couldn't imagine before.
It's true. I also had to adapt a lot, and I didn't imagine that I will learn all these new things. I started making videos, for instance, on my own. Before that, would always hire a video filmmaker to make my videos. Now I'm making all my videos alone and editing them also alone. Sound, recording sound and mixing. I've done that a little bit before, but in an amateuristic way, just sketches at home and stuff like that. Nothing that you could release. But now I've used already some tracks that were released as singles. And of course, all the broadcast skills that actually was the steepest learning curve, because it was, I think, for me, the most difficult to understand all the techniques that you had to use and the new
Once
device.
you have it, you are the king. You
Yeah.
yeah, you owe something new. You are able.
Yeah. And I think it's going to last. It's my prediction that the live stream concerts will prevail. I think it's like a new industry kind
I
of
think
thing.
so. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. It will not disappear. We cannot just wait for live concert openings and do nothing. We just have to constantly preparing ourselves for both.
Yeah. And the reason I started doing the monthly concerts is because I wanted something that I could keep at also when I'm not on tour. So also when I am on tour. So on Sunday nights, you hardly ever have concerts. If you have a concert, it's a matinee or in the
Hmm.
afternoon. So I know that once a month on a Sunday evening, I would probably be able to broadcast a concert. So that's why I chose Sunday. At the beginning, it was Monday, and then I've switched it to Sunday.
Hmm.
And I think it works well because I do it in a time that fits both Europe and the US. And because my audience is divided, there's a
Hmm.
lot of audience in the US and a lot of audience in Europe, they can both watch it live at the same time.
Hmm.
So I would recommend every band to do like a monthly thing and then keep it up while you're on tour. But you
Yeah.
mentioned before, sorry, you wanted to say something.
No, I just it came to my mind again that what did I do about during this quarantine? Or I still do of this booking and cooking project, which was totally new for me. I was thinking about it a lot. I wanted to combine bands, music, food, because for me it's all connected. If you go to some country, you discover food, you hear music and culture, and this is all like one thing. And I started to think, how can I combine all that? Not just putting any background music, not any background, but the music connected with this food, or vice versa. I choose the band, their music, and then I cook something connected with them, their food, or my vision of this food or something. So I think this also has some potential in promotion
I
because we
think
all
so.
like to eat.
Yes.
So
And you present their videos are very well done. They're colorful. You can almost smell for me, like when I watch your videos, I can almost smell the food. And this is something that doesn't exist in other videos, because we usually only engage the visual and the audio senses. But with your video, the imagination starts to roll, because
Yeah,
you think, oh, this food looks good, how does it taste like? And it makes you think more. And this thinking, the involvement of the viewer in the video, I think, is greater in the cooking videos.
so I will
Yeah.
go on discovering more
Yeah. I still want a
possibilities in this.
video,
Yeah, I know. I remember. I remember. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
It makes
just yesterday, day before yesterday, one music journalist suddenly sent me photo of these aubergine rolls. Said they're amazing. My wife said they are super tasty. It's a Georgian thing, and
yeah,
starter aubergines filled with walnuts and greens, and
it sounds good.
yeah, and it's such a great feeling to see that people are cooking. They are trying to do
Maybe
it.
you will start getting reaction videos to your videos.
Well, yeah, I would be cool.
Maybe I should make a reaction. There is actually one Ladino song about the aubergine. It's called Los Guisados de la Berenjena. It means 7 ways to cook the aubergine.
Yeah, give me
And
7 recipes and we take this song.
so every verse is describing another recipe. It's like really
this
with
is
direction.
this is priceless, You should send me this song.
These songs were written in the Middle Ages, and they were preserved by the women of the society, because it's like a Jewish society, and they were living in
Mm,
Spain, the Iberian Peninsula, and the men were going to synagogue to study Torah, and the women would stay at home. So basically, the guys did not really learn the local language, the Spanish, the Latin language of back then, because they
mhm,
were busy
mhm.
in the synagogue. But the women were in charge of cooking, of going to the market, talking to the neighbors, gossiping, whatever it was. So they made their own language that was secret. So the guys didn't know anything of that language.
You mean Ladino
Ladino is a female language.
is female
It's
language?
grandma language.
Yeah, I understood that it's your grandma language, and
No, but I mean, like, it is a grandmother language. All the grandmothers, they were
I
like,
didn't know that it was created by women who were
and
left over.
yeah, it's funny, and that's why the topics of the songs are always about recipes and gossip, and you have uh, like, marriage used to be arranged then, so you
Mhm,
didn't
yeah,
pick your mate.
yeah.
So they will always sing about what love could have been, but I never had love, and I want to have love. So it's like, it's very interesting topics,
Mm,
and that you wouldn't think. And because these songs are anonymous, it doesn't say the name of the composer, it just says traditional, so you don't know who these people are. But if you look into the research of the text, you think, like, hey, it's all the similar themes, why is it like
uh-huh.
that? Yeah, it's fun to discover.
Okay, I'm very interested in this 7 recipes aubergine song
I
in
will send
Ladino.
Did I ever give you my CD? Actually, I don't think so.
Uh,
I will. I will send you by post.
I think I'm fine with Spotify or something because, yeah, I'm not driving a lot. And usually when I listen in the car. I would,
Yeah.
with the
I,
headphones, I would listen. I mean, I listened. I also prepared.
sorry, I didn't hear you. What?
I listen to your music as well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks. I actually don't have a lot of things on Spotify. I did release 2 albums, the first ones on Spotify, but ever since I don't know, I got annoyed by their practices. It's already a long time ago. In 2014, I stopped releasing
Mm.
uh, music digitally. I mean, not music in general, but full albums. So I do still release singles digitally, but I sell the CDs and the downloads on my
Then
website.
you
Yeah,
can send me. I will be glad.
yeah,
I
yeah.
wanted
But
to
I can
ask
also
you.
send you a download. Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to ask, what do you think about remixes? Do they bring new followers to the artist? Are they essential for unknown artists to find someone to make their releases who is two steps higher than them or
Yeah.
one step higher than them? Or
I don't have a
the
lot of experience with remixes.
Mhm,
I only had two songs that got remixed, but
mhm.
not on my request. So it was fans that were amateur DJs that created tracks with my a cappella. They extracted the vocals from an existing tracks and they uploaded it to YouTube. But because they are not known, I I also think, the versions they're very sweet, but they're because they're not professional musicians. They were not professional versions. So I don't think these could become hits. But I think if you have a good collaboration with a good professional DJ and it fits the song, and it also your song has a hook that can become popular, because you cannot force the song to become popular. I think it could work, but I don't have a lot of personal experience with it. But I could
Mm.
maybe direct you to some friends who do that
No,
if you want to ask them.
yeah, that would be interesting. People could give their thoughts about this remix thing here in the comments if they like.
Yeah,
But what I mean that if someone approaches you who is lower than you, it means
yes,
he would like to be promoted with your song. This
yeah,
is cool, but not interesting for the band. If the band approaches someone who is higher than them, they
mhm,
would like to be promoted. But the question is, if the remix artist, the DJ, is known and people are watching his or listening to his remixes, they listen to his remixes and not so much interested who he has remixed. Or what do you think? Or it can be a way to promote the band.
I think it could be a way to promote the band. It sounds logical to me that when somebody posts about your music and they have followers, that you will get more traction because of that. I also have experience working on Instagram uh, with collaborations with other influencers. So, for instance, if it fits, if it's a good fit, then all of a sudden you have 100 new followers just from one post. And sometimes you don't even ask for it. Like this week, I had this influencer on Twitter, Bunny Hopper, who shared my tweet. She retweeted my tweet. And I don't have a lot of followers on Twitter. I have a lot of people on Facebook and on Instagram. It's like 24,000 people, but on Twitter I only have 300 people. And she retweeted one of my tweets, and usually I only get like 5 or 7 likes, but all of a sudden it was 109 likes, and 16 people retweeted my tweet.
And
So
what was
all of a
that
sudden,
in this
I
tweet?
yeah, all of a sudden I got a lot of exposure and like 10 or 15 new followers as well. So it does help to get exposure, but it also has to be a good fit, because if these people just follow you and don't interact with your posts in the future, it actually drags your channel down. It's better to have less followers that are active followers than having a lot of followers that nobody does everything. You can, if you look at bigger profiles, like for instance Beyonce. I think she has like 50 million followers, 60 million or something like this. But if you look at the link at the posts, she only has 17,000 likes per post. So out of the 50 million, only 17,000 react. That's a very small percentage. And if I have 24,000 people, but every time I post, I get 300 or 400 likes in relation to 24,000, it's a higher percentage. They are more engaged. So, in a way, I keep my audience engaged with what I do. And you can see that also on the mailing list. Like at the beginning, when I started sending mailing lists, newsletter, I only had like 13% opening rate and engagement rate. So people would click through. But now I have 52 engagement rate percent. It's like, it's an insane difference. So you got to create material that will appeal to your niche, micro niche even market. So you don't have a lot of people. Maybe I have 14, I think 14, 15,000 people on the mailing list, but more than 50% of them open the email and click the links, which is for me
This
amazing.
is very good.
Like every
It's
month,
very good.
7,000 people open your email. It's quite amazing. Yeah,
Yeah, that's good.
it's a good feeling that you have support, you have an audience. They're gonna hold you if you fall. Even if your album fails, like they will still be there for you.
They will not let it fail.
Yeah, exactly. You have a cushion. Yeah. We have a nice question here on the comments from Acoustic Landscapes. They ask, do you have any advice in how to do marketing for online streaming concerts? We are asking, since we are starting to have weekly live stream concerts from Acoustic Landscapes Studio each Friday during lunchtime, to offer a nice concert experience for all people working from their homes in this lonely and isolated period. Yeah, it is lonely. But it seems Facebook keeps making it very hard to get visibility on the live streaming events we've created so far. Do you have any advice for them?
My advice is to turn to you because you are more experienced in that.
In my experience, is that you need to build your audience in a proper way. So I wouldn't rely on Facebook to get people to buy tickets for your concert. Rely on your newsletter system.
Messages, mailings lists, and
Yes, Facebook could be an extra thing. It reminds people that already follow you that the concert is coming up. You could also use advertisements. I've done that a few times, but in very specific targeted projects. I've never done general advertising on YouTube, only when I had a goal.
Mhm.
And then the problem with advertising on social media that it's very difficult to get people to visit an external link because they make it not friendly for the customer experience. So you would
Mm.
have to follow the link, and then you will get a message: "Are you sure you want to leave Facebook?" And then
Yeah,
if
yeah, yeah. You want to leave this page? Oh no, no, it's my page.
yes, so people, even though they click on your message, they don't necessarily click the extra click through to go to your website. And you can see, if you have a pixel on your WordPress website, you can see how many people actually clicked through because it measures
Mm.
the click on the ad and the click of the people that got to the website. And that's a very small percentage. That's only 2% of the people that click the ad. So for signing up or for external links, I would not use an ad. I would use an offer. An offer is free to create, and it has a bigger success rate because people can sign up directly from the offer. They will not get that extra um, click through barrier. By the way, I'm doing a challenge on social media right now. We started yesterday with artists, and there is one spot that became free because somebody dropped out this morning. So if you want to apply, send me a direct message, and I can let you know about it. It's a 30-day challenge. It's called Rule Your Algorithms. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
check.
wanted to ask. You played trombone. How did
Yeah.
it? How did it happen that you chose trombone?
My father would like your question. I was at school. I was 9 years old, and they brought. Sometimes they bring activities to the school, and they brought the local orchestra. It's like a wind band orchestra to play a little concert, and it was also an explanatory part about the instruments. So they presented the trumpet and the saxophone and trombone and tuba, and I saw the instrument and I really liked the sound. And I came home and I said to my dad, I want to play trombone. And he's like, what the hell is trombone? He didn't know. So I explained, it's like, it's that thing with the slide. It's a big trumpet. And he's like, you had to see his face. He went from, no. It was like really, like, no. And these are the words that he said. It sounds like the dishwasher's hose. That's what he said.
Cool.
So there is no chance I'm getting you that instrument. And then I don't remember that part of the conversation, but he says that when I explained to him why I want to play the instrument, I said, this instrument is going to take me abroad. What did I know when I was 9 years old about playing abroad? I didn't even know what abroad was. I never went abroad. Yeah, so I get I like the sound, I guess, and somehow I saw potential.
And what did make him change his mind and get you this instrument? Or you did it yourself later?
I am so stubborn.
You stopped eating.
No, much worse. Well, actually, in a way, it's not worse because it's very diplomatic, but it's worse for him because, well, I'll explain. Because it was undermining his authority. So they said no, and I said, well, how do I do that? I need money to pay for the lessons. So I worked. At 9 years old, I started puppet show performance together with a friend of mine, and we went to local kindergartens and we made this puppet show performance for the kids.
Wow, this is great
like
story.
€5, like for making a presentation like that. And then I went to the music school where the orchestra was from. And I said, I want to learn that instrument. I saw it in our concert at school, but I don't have enough money to pay for the lessons. What can I do? So they said, they thought I was really weird. Where are your parents? Why are they not here? So, well, they didn't agree. And I really want to learn the instrument. So I want to know what can I do? So they gave me a test. So first a music test to see if I was talented. And then they said, you know what? Anyway, we need trombones for the youth orchestra. If you start learning trombone, we can give you the lessons half off. So we will give you 50% discount, and you can pay with the money you have. And I just started paying for my own lessons.
How much? For how many lessons? For how many lessons was your money?
I think half a year.
Oh, you did a lot. You did a good job of puppet theater, right?
Yes. Well, I continued to work also during the.
It's actually a great business idea of doing puppet shows in the kindergartens, because you can go on. You just create a new story and you come again. If they liked your first story, you can tell them a next one.
Exactly. And you can make the new puppets from socks, or something. It's an easy game.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my father freaked out. He was like, what the hell are you doing?
How quickly did he get to know that you are doing it?
I think quite quickly. I was in this way, I was a rebel, but I was also a goody two shoe. So I don't think I knew how to lie. I think I told them. I said yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
See, great. Well, it shows the personality. Since then, already then, so you have this iron carcass inside.
I had more personality then, I think, than I have today.
So we were supposed to educate people. Let's
Yes.
go on educating them.
Yeah, well, educate them with being stubborn.
Yeah, be stubborn, go to make some. Actually, it's a good example because you have to create ways. There is a path, there are some rules, but they are written by the same people as we are. The advantage is only that they started earlier, and these advices are based on their success stories. But you can create your own success story. You can create your own approach. You can create your own way of doing what you want to achieve. So you just have to be creative constantly with everything, with photos, with text, with mailings. I remember it was some conference, and before conferences you get a lot of mails, and one started like that. Yet another mail from the bloody musician. What? You see what it is there. Why are they offending you? Then it's if you open this email, it means we. What? Yet another email from bloody musician.
Yes.
Because in this hierarchy of the mails which you get before the conferences, if you are selling, the artist is like you have your own artist to sell, and if someone else is approaching you, it's. But I opened this email, of course, and it was funny from the beginning till the last line.
Perfect.
I said, oh, you are reading this first. Okay, then I will try to make it very quick, and I tell you one sentence. Are you still here? You are weird. You're still reading this useless letter from the artist, and so on and so on. It was funniest letter I ever received, and I answered him, and we were in contact also. Some unusual approach you have to think all the time.
Yeah.
For example, you have to improvise also. It was a showcase festival, and I wanted to meet one festival director, and I see he's there, he's alone. I just come. I didn't have any appointment, and I asked him, "Are you free now?" He said, "I'm expecting," and he said the name of someone, but right now she's not here. I said, "Why don't I pretend being her for 3 minutes? Yeah. Let's see what happens." And then we were laughing, and then we were corresponding each other. I said, fake this and this lady. You have to have this little, I don't know, anchors which are connecting you with this person, and you both remember, and then it works further.
Yeah, it's because the emotional experience is what you remember the most from these conversations. If you connect to someone on a real level, then the friendship factor kicks in. And then
the real level is first real level is not the business level.
Exactly. So if you start saying, "Hey, this is my band, blah, 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 blah," immediately they close their ears. They don't hear you anymore.
It was another scene I remember. I will always remember. It was at the Womex, and there was a group of cynical presenters, men with a long experience. It turned out cynical, but they were talking, and I was also telling some funny stories. We were just laughing, and then one very correct lady came without any sense of humor or anything, and we were in this, very stupid mood of laughing about everything. And she came, "Hello, my name is this. I have this and these bands. I have many nice bands. Would you like to check?" You would see the eyes of these men, 6 men, and they were trying to come back to calm, and you could understand this nice girl failed already,
Yes.
without, even if she had a nice bands to present, and she did. And it was not about that they are men or not men, because they were just in some other mood. And she came with her program, she was programmed to approach presenters, present the bands, beautiful bands she had. And this doesn't work. If I would her, I would stay maybe a little bit aside and listen what these people are talking about.
Yeah.
And maybe just give some funny comment or something. She would be in the same minute. And then later, maybe she could talk about her bands.
Yeah, it's it feels a little bit like an attack, I think, because somebody wants something from you
Yes.
rather than have a conversation. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, what I learned with many years of going to showcase festivals, I prefer not to show any videos with headphones during the conference,
Oh,
because you
yes.
see the eyes are unfocused, even if the person makes effort to concentrate and see,
Mm.
but around is such a noisy place with many familiar faces. You talk with one and then you see another one, and you are not concentrate. You cannot concentrate. But it's my personal experience. Maybe presenters like it. Maybe some of them like it. Maybe there is some other way. Should be some other way uh, to find them not getting distracted.
Yeah.
And actually, I find um, these online showcase festivals, very good in this sense that you can see these short showcases without running around, going to the restaurants, meeting friends at the same time. You just, if you want to eat, you take your food, you eat. Of course, we all miss the social part.
Yes.
But as for the work, I find it, if the video is high quality and well done, it's very high percent or high. Um, it has more possibilities, I think, this online showcase festival for getting attention,
Hmm.
a proper attention.
That's nice that you say that because I hear from a lot of programmers that they don't want to book a band before they see it live. So maybe
What do you
that
do now? What do you do
exactly.
now?
Maybe now it's going to revolutionize the industry in that sense.
But you can get very good videos. Even from existing ones, you can get a good compilation where you can show how the band is on the stage, how is the reaction of the audience, uh, and what is the interaction of the band between the band members. So you can do it, and and the presenters can see it very close at the screen, not on the back somewhere, having 2 minutes one song and going to another showcase. If this online showcase is well organized, not overlapping, then it's a big chance that your band will get attention.
Yeah. I think that's a big challenge of showcasing festivals in general,
Yes.
that there's a lot of overlap in the program. And sometimes even bands from the same style. I think if they do the overlap between different styles, it doesn't matter so much because the programmers who are aiming into that direction will go to that showcase. And then the rest will go to another showcase. But when you have two bands that are kind of the same at the same time, then for sure one band is going to have less audience than the other one. And it's a
Yeah.
shame.
Even multi-hall showcase festival like ASNS
Yeah.
was also very good, because you don't spend time running. You just, with one click, you can check this band. If you feel that this is something interesting, you stay there. If you don't, You just very quickly can change the holes and see many still. So
Yes.
even this multi-hole concept works better, I think,
I agree.
as at the online showcases.
Yeah. Like for instance with Womex, especially like for instance the edition we had in Tampere. So the holes were really far away from each other, and you sometimes had to spend 20 minutes walking between the holes. So I would go to see that showcase. By the time I got there, it was only 10 minutes left.
Yeah.
And with Jazz Ahead, for instance, the holes are very close together. Well, not the club night. The club night is far away, but the main showcase holes are close to each other, and it's easier to move around them. So for the promoters, it's an easier experience.
If the video is good.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I was talking about walking in
Walking,
between.
yes, sure, it's very healthy to walk, but at some point,
Yes.
you just might stay at the place where they have some chairs, regardless of what they play there. You know, that's just you are so tired by the end of the evening that you see the nice hall with the comfortable chairs. What do they play here? Ah, this. Okay. So, and this can end
This
your
is how
pitching.
this is why musicians make their best conversations in the evening, because during the day all the promoters are running around for appointments, and in the evening they catch someone at the showcase because he finally sat down, you know, and then they can pitch their band, and the programmer is thinking, why is he talking to me, you know? I just want to have a life. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we all miss that.
Yeah. Maybe one last question about the real life. I hope it will come back very soon. Um, Now we have the Brexit situation, and you also work with bands from all over the world and bringing them into the EU. So, what is your experience with tour management with bands that are coming from abroad, especially with the process of applying for visas and the tour management itself? Because a lot of musicians don't really understand that tour management is a job, and also that this is something you should factor into the budget, the travel expenses, the person who is going with you, the technical manager. Sometimes there's even a sound engineer coming with. um, what is your perspective on that aspect?
It's a big, difficult, time-consuming job to get all these visas and documents and fiscals, residence, and hell knows what else.
Yes.
2,500 documents, which doesn't make sense for you, but you just have to
Or the notorious
forget your ambitions and go and get them. Just
Yes.
for some recently, it was last year, there was some gig I was preparing. I had to go to the what?
You're breaking up again.
I don't
didn't
move
hear
anymore. I had to go to get a criminal report that I'm not a criminal. Yeah.
Which country?
The proof, I'm in Germany now, but the criminal report was requested from all countries I lived before. So
I lost you again. Sorry.
The presenter requested criminal report, tax report, and
from which country?
It was from Portugal.
You know, that's what I was asking, because I was also requested to present a criminal report in Portugal, and my grandmother is Portuguese, and now I got like a year ago I got the Portuguese nationality, but before that they asked me for a criminal record, and I was like, what? I am already living in the EU for 12 years. Why would I even have a criminal record, you know?
Yeah, there are a lot of papers you have to get. It's time consuming and boring, but nevertheless you have to do that. I don't have any artists from UK, and the bands I brought to UK, they were from EU, and they didn't need any special requirements at that time.
Yeah,
And then
it's
it
changing.
stopped. Then it stopped. I don't know. Let's see how it. They have to understand their situation first,
Yeah.
and it has to get clear, and then we'll see how to deal with Brexit and all these requirements.
I have a tour in June in the UK that was booked last year. It was actually supposed to be in 2020, but got postponed because of COVID. And now we are getting emails from the presenters saying like, "Hey, now there is a 650 euro visa fee," and because I had to get in and out of the country because I was going to Ireland, Scotland, coming back. So I would have to leave the country, come back. So it means I would have to apply for the visa a few times because it's not a multiple entry visa. So that makes the budget of the entire tour high by close to 2,000 euros. And it's
Mhm.
already a deal that you something you have to deal with. So you
You
don't know.
just put it in the budget.
Yeah, well, the thing is that the contracts for the gigs were already signed before. It
I
was
see.
booked in 2019 for 2020 and got postponed because of COVID. So now we have the problem
The
with
fees are the
21.
same, but the budget is different.
Exactly. So it's a challenge. So we don't know what to do now. And the Arts Council, for instance, that gave us a grant for the previous tour. I did a commission for the Manchester Jazz Festival. So they gave us a grant back then. And now they've reallocated all their funds for 2 years for the emergency corona funds. So so for 2020 and 21, they don't give any funds to artists anymore. So only in 22. So we can't even apply for a grant. It's a strange limbo situation.
I'm not sure if there will be a lot of live concerts in this summer.
I think so too. I think
So
we
we
will
have
see the
time.
effects until 23.
I
That's
Yes, we have time, I guess. It's sad, but
yeah,
uh, I would rather be surprised than disappointed.
yeah. I agree. You see, this is a realistic point of view. I like that. Well, you said before that you were encouraging your bands to focus on the CD releases during the pandemic. It's interesting for me because I decided to postpone my CD release that was supposed to be released last March. Um, because of the pandemic, I decided to postpone it to this year because the tour was canceled. Because, when you go on tour, you sell the record. Like every show, you sell 10, 15 pieces. And by the end of the year, you sell 1,000 pieces. But now, if I'm if I'm printing 1,000 pieces, um, they're going to sit at home. Nobody's going to buy them. Well, maybe with the online concerts a little bit. And then also, when I will come to book my next tour, the programmers are going to tell me, so when is your next release? Let's book a concert on your next release. So I'm actually wasting a release
Hmm. I
when there
didn't
are
mean
no
to
shows.
release. No, I meant, it's a long process. Some bands, they start writing music. It takes
Ah,
time.
okay. So that's what you mean. Working on new tracks,
Yeah, yeah.
recording,
Uh,
thing.
Working, recording, looking for right artwork, um,
Yeah.
just to do it in.
So you wouldn't advise to release work. No.
I would advise to, of course, I would advise to release closer to the tours, or before tours. Sure,
Yeah, that
this
was
is
my
it.
instinct.
But you never know. There is an example. Again, it's a Trad Attack. They released the CD last year because it was planned. They released in May. They didn't tour abroad, but they performed a lot in the country. They gained even more audience in the country. They did a lot of very interesting creative promotion of the CD, and they are selling it.
Yeah.
selling it. You know, the everything you do to feed or to expand your fan base, it will also result in buying your merch and your CDs, even if you're not touring. You can do some videos again. You can do some videos about this, or you can record. If you perform in your country, you can record it. You can work with these videos and still
Yeah.
make people buy.
I have sales on the online store, but it's not as much as during the tour. On tour, you sell a lot,
Sure.
and also you get the booking because you have a release. So they book you for the tour of the album, you
Hmm.
know. And many times I performed in a venue, and they said, "We want to have you back. Let us know when your next release is, and we will book you again."
Or maybe next
Mm.
program. You know, you can say that you have another program,
Yeah, but people
because
want
they don't get anything from your release. It's just to promote with these words, new release, which means new program.
I agree with you. We do that sometimes. Like I have a theater agent here in the Netherlands, and we do more commercial work together. So I do tribute with him. So it's not my own music that I write. So I did a Nina Simone tribute, and now I'm doing the First Ladies of Jazz, which is a tribute to Ella Fitzgerald, Billie Holiday, and Sarah Vaughan. And next year we're also booking a tribute to Barbara Streisand. So that's completely different than what I normally do. And with these programs, we don't need to have new releases. It's enough to make a video and to book the program because it's a more commercial atmosphere. So they're not looking for the album; they're looking for the experience, like you described
Mhm.
the new program. But with original work, I a lot of time got the impression that you need a new release to get booked. But maybe it's just my impression. Maybe it's changing.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I hope it will. It should,
Yeah.
because it's about new music, about new program. It's not about a piece of plastic, actually.
Yeah, generally I agree. Yeah. So there is a fun part to the interview as well, besides all my serious questions. And
And my
it's
serious answers.
exactly. So it's a questionnaire that I took from Bernard Pivot. He's a French talk show host from the 60s. And it's a series of personal questions, and you're supposed to answer associatively. So like with the first thing that comes to mind. But I'm not as strict as he is. So if you want to take a few minutes to think, or if you want to have two answers or
Let's
whatever,
check.
I'm flexible. Shall we try?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So what is your favorite word?
Peace.
Peace. Yeah. What's your least favorite word?
I don't like.
I don't like
It's
is
not a
your
word. No, I don't
yeah.
know. No.
My least favorite word is impossible.
Okay, it's already promotional content.
No, but really, like I think people say that because they don't want to answer. They
You know,
don't
if
want to
I
take.
start thinking, I'm not thinking now. Yeah, I'm just telling what first come to my mind.
Yeah, but you can be
Impossible.
flexible.
Of course, impossible. I don't like as well,
Yes.
and I don't like when for example, um, the people who are working with the band at the festivals, you ask them something, the volunteers, you ask them, could you, said, I don't know.
Yeah.
I always tell them, don't tell me I don't know. Tell me, I will go and find out.
Exactly. It's the same as impossible. It's an
Yeah,
answer
it's a never
you get
answer, I
nothing.
don't know, or it's impossible. I will find
It's
out for you.
that's I think it's exactly the same thing. It's like
Yeah.
by saying I don't know, they're actually saying it's impossible because it's just a reflex answer. I don't want to take responsibility. That's the
Yeah,
vibe.
exactly, yeah. But
Yeah.
you can always say, I will find out. So
Yes.
you're working on it. Okay, let's go. What else do we have?
What turns you on, creatively, emotionally, or spiritually?
Goosebumps.
Yes. It's the silver lining of all your bands.
Yes,
What turns you off?
bad news.
Oh, yeah.
Some bad news can just
Hmm. What's your favorite curse word?
crossword.
Yeah,
I
bad
don't
word.
under huh? I don't
Bad word.
understand this. Ah, bad word.
Yes.
Favorite bad blin.
What?
It's a Russian one.
Which one?
Blin. It means if you translate it, it's a pancake, but actually it's it's abbreviature. Okay.
Okay, let me know later. My favorite curse word is glopusti. It means nonsense
Gluposti.
in Bulgarian.
Gluposti.
Yeah.
In Bulgarian it's gluposti.
Yeah.
In Russian it's gluposti.
Ah, is that also the same? Also
Yeah,
means nothing.
yeah. It means stupid.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah. A lot of similarities between the
yeah,
languages.
yeah. It's Slavic
I actually
languages.
wanted to study linguistics at some point. Maybe I'll do it in the future. What sound or noise do you love?
Water,
Like
the
the sea.
sea breeze,
Mm.
but
And
not a
what's
storm.
no, too much
And
noise.
fire, and fire.
Yeah, I love the fire too. Also looking
Fireplace,
at
but fireplace, not a big fire.
yeah, or like a small campfire outside, also very
Mm.
nice. Yeah. And what sound or noise do you hate?
Drilling.
I started my morning like this. I actually don't I don't know why. Like this morning at 7 o'clock in the morning, they started zzz, with the drill, and then they stopped. Like at 8:30 or something, they stopped, and then it started again at 11:30, just before we had to go at the interview. So couldn't you just finish before? You had a lot of time. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Patisserie.
I want to try that. After all the cooking videos, I want to try her food. You're
When it
probably good.
opens, come over.
I will. Where are you? In which city are you now?
It's a small city, not far away from Stuttgart, South Germany, in the vineyards. We have
Nice.
10,000 people. Beautiful nature. Very quiet. If I wouldn't have such an intense life, it would have been very difficult.
Very nice. I will, if you don't mind, I will come visit.
Sure. If I'm there, if we are there,
Sorry?
if we all be here,
Yes.
if it starts, I also travel a lot.
Yes,
If
that's
it
true.
opens, then I also travel, but you're always welcome if I'm
You're also
home.
welcome here if you want to visit.
Here is where?
Amsterdam.
You're in Amsterdam. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's come visit each other.
Yes.
And the song
Um,
about 7 aubergine recipes.
yes, and then we can cook all the recipes.
Yeah.
Yes. What profession other than your own would you not like to do?
Um, oh, it's difficult.
Sorry?
Chemist. I was,
Chemist.
and I don't want anymore.
But didn't you do chemistry before?
I graduated from university as a chemist and worked in a marine research institute for 10 years with heavy metal research, lab work, everything.
And you wouldn't like to do it again?
No, any work which doesn't involve the result, which where I don't see the result, where I don't work with people, and where I can see happy faces.
Yeah. Then the music world is great for that.
Yeah, because it was lab and numbers and chemicals and like a circle.
Mm. But it's also exciting, like all the crazy combustible stuff. And I remember liking chemistry in high school.
Mm.
But I can imagine that it's very lonely also.
Yeah, you're just you and your chemicals and your numbers and your statistic. You
Oh, yeah.
can make articles, and then if you're researching pollution in the sea, one big storm, make it all. You can start from the beginning.
Well, I think it's nice that you had such a big spectrum of work doing different
Yeah,
things.
I was also a editor at the photo magazine, black and white,
Oh,
nude magazine, very
I couldn't
beautiful.
hear. Sorry.
Editor. I was an editor in the beautiful black and white art nude magazine, photo
Really?
magazine. Yes,
I want to see that.
it was amazing magazine, and I got to look for the artists and make interviews with them. And one of them, my first interview, the French artist who moved then, who lived in Canada. He was from France and moved to Canada. Many years later, I met him when I was touring with Trad Attack in Canada, and I found out that he's there. And we visited his house, and the band played concert, and it was like a miracle. He's an amazing person. He did
Wow.
photo collages with 10 this, how is it called, um, not digitally, it was all
Film.
film, yes, but you go to the lab and then you have this
Oh, yeah, you
projector.
developed it.
He made it with 10 projectors. He was a master of photo collages, and he did it with 10 projectors,
Wow.
like in the lab.
Maybe you have some photos to send me.
Sure, I have these magazines also. I was
Nice.
like 1 year
Yeah,
long
I'd
in
like to
this.
see. My last question is actually my favorite question. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you pass the gates?
You did it well.
Good job. Nice. I had so many different answers to that question, and I think it's a very deep one. One of my guests said this. You know Stefano from EJN, from the European Jazz Network.
Mm-mm.
So he said, "This is the beginning of another life." And I was like, "Wow, you want to have another go?" Yeah, it's very optimistic. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you for
interesting.
being
And
on my show.
what would be your uh,
For me, would be now you can relax. Now you this is
now you can relax? Oh,
now you can let go.
it's similar. You did it well, and now you can relax.
Yeah, now you can let go. I think that will be. Do do you know the series The Good Place?
Mm,
Did you see the ending?
no.
Okay, so I won't tell you. But it's I really loved the ending. It was very I think not it was not expected. And a lot of times when you deal with these kind of subjects, there is a very cheesy cliche ending. And I think they did a good job. It was an inspiring ending. Yeah.
Okay, I will check.
Yeah. Thank you for being a great guest.
Okay, thank you for being a great host.
And thanks for sharing your
It
knowledge.
was fun. It was nice talking to you.
Yeah, to you too. I think the first
Okay,
time we met, I already felt that we had some conversations in us that we had to make. So,
nice.
yeah. So, thanks for
Okay,
sharing that with me.
okay. Good luck with your all your projects and with this do it yourself and
Thanks.
and
Yourself
concerts
together.
and live concerts, online concerts, all kind
Yeah.
of concerts and initiatives.
And good
Yeah.
luck with all the bands, and especially in these crazy times. Stay well and healthy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. See you soon on another
See
stream.
you.
See you. So, if you guys want to check Juliana's website, I'm going to put it in the comments. And also, Juliana, if you're still here with us, please put your links to the cooking and booking project so people can check it out later as well. Thank you very much for joining us today. As you know, all donations for this podcast will be used to help young musicians get a proper education. So please visit ydiymusic.com/donate and make your contribution. And you could also send a direct PayPal transfer to paypal.me/Noam Vazana. You can join us next week, October. No, it's not October. It's February. And I'll be interviewing Arlette Hovinga. She's an independent jazz promoter from the Netherlands. Tune in every Thursday, 12 o'clock on YDIY Music on Facebook and YouTube. And you could also check out my course for independent musicians on ydiymusic.com. In the meantime, good luck, keep calm, and DIY.